remembers from when then Vice President Joe Biden visited. Then the Tazewell County Resource Center is tackling a new year. The plans and opportunities available to people with disabilities. Also,
some say chicken soup cures whatever ails you, and it just might. Everything from the sniffles to a hungry belly.
Central Illinois Newsday on WMVD starts now.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us here on CI Newsday. I'm Rebecca Brumfield. As President Trump's term ends and Joe Biden's begins, leaders across the globe are weighing in on the transition of power. Ian Lee reports from London.
Many world leaders breathed a sigh of relief as Joe Biden became America's 46th president.
And after 4 long years, Europe has a friend in the White House.
In Brussels, the European Commission president said the inauguration shows the resilience of America's democracy.
This new dawn in America is the moment we've been waiting for so long. Europe is ready for a new start with our oldest and most trusted partner.
Germany's president said he's greatly relieved President Biden is moving into the White House. While French President Emmanuel Macron said he hopes a Biden administration will be more committed in the fight against terror. Here in the UK, Prime Minister Boris Johnson says he wants to work with President Biden on shared priorities.
From tackling climate change, building back better from the pandemic, and strengthening our transatlantic security.
Russia was less enthusiastic. The Kremlin said any improvement in Moscow's tense relationship with Washington would be up to the Biden administration. And in Iran, President Hassan Rouhani didn't mince words, saying today is the end of Trump's unfortunate government. Vice President Kamala Harris drew the most attention in India at her ancestral village.
I wish her well, success.
She's making history, not only as the first female vice president, but also the first of South Asian and African descent. Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
Yesterday, U.S. Senator Dick Durbin worked with bipartisan lawmakers to reintroduce the Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act after the riot on Capitol Hill nearly 2 weeks ago. The bill aims to improve the federal government's prevention, reporting, response, and investigation of domestic terrorism. It plans to do so by creating offices in Homeland Security, the Department of Justice, and the FBI. Illinois Congressman Brad Schneider says the bill doesn't target any specific group.
We can no longer take it for granted that we're safe in the United States and just have to watch the incoming people. There are dangers within. Let's take them seriously and pass this legislation as quickly as possible.
Congressman Snyder says the goal is to try to pass it through Congress again and hopefully get it on the president's desk. Well, as Vice President Joe Biden left a mark on Peoria's city, on Peorians in our city. In 2010, he spoke at the Partners of Peace luncheon for the Center for Prevention of Abuse on his work against domestic violence. After his speech, he visited the Spotted Cow for some ice cream. Frank Abnauer, the former owner of the restaurant, says he remembers Biden's kindness and was shocked his business was picked for the visit. He says it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience and says he'll never forget Biden's visit to Peoria.
It isn't every day that you get the Vice President of the United States to come into your facility, so we were honored, shocked, excited.
There was also an ice cream flavor in the VP's honor named Chip Off the Old Biden. It was a chocolate chip ice cream, which Abnauer says is one of Biden's favorite flavors. And local students taking a break from their books to witness the inauguration. During a social studies class, students at Mossville Junior High had a chance to take in the ceremony on TV. Some say this is the first inauguration they are able to remember. Teacher Steve Williams says throughout the year, students have learned about the Constitution, but he admits there is nothing like seeing the democratic process actually play out.
We're just in there watching the actual swearing in. They saw that transfer of power in the moment that it happened, and I think that's really going to be something they're going to remember. And it's something I think it's important to watch every 4 years when it happens.
He says his students also learned about the changes created because of the pandemic. And as we encounter today's transfer of power, a debate continues. President Trump, taking his leave from the White House this morning, banned from social media major websites. Annie Kate shows us the ongoing debate over censorship and what one media law expert has to say.
Falsely yelling fire in a crowded theater is not protected speech. It's dangerous.
President Trump banned from Twitter and other mainstream social media, fueling the fire of an ongoing debate over free speech and censorship in big tech.
We talk about freedom of speech in a constitutional sense as a legal right that we have. That is not at play here, because Twitter is a private company.
Bastian Vanacker, professor at Loyola Chicago, says social media companies have blanket control over who does and does not have access to their sites.
If tomorrow Twitter decided it no longer wants journalists on its network, it could kick off all journalists.
Media moguls citing the January 6th insurrection at the Capitol as the reason for suspending the president's accounts. Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey saying in a thread that he does not celebrate nor feel pride in having to ban President Trump's account and that it sets a dangerous precedent. Vanacker says elected officials get special protections on social media sites so they can remain politically neutral. But, he says, this move was defensible.
If Donald Trump were to tweet and give him the go-ahead, chances are that we would have a sequel of what we saw.
Republican lawmaker Marjorie Greene wearing a face mask with the word censored across her mouth last week. A Santa Clara University professor says eliminating Section 230 of the 1996 Communications Decency Act, which would hold social media accounts liable for lawsuits, would be an existential threat to the internet. The New York Times says many alt-right militia groups are now on new platforms, some of them encrypted, making it harder to monitor and trace. In Peoria, Annie Kate, WMBD News.
In other news, Unity Point Health is calling it a successful start to the Phase 1B COVID-19 vaccine rollout. The company announced yesterday, in the first day of vaccinating the public, the clinic distributed more than 500 vaccines. Unity Point Health is currently contacting those in Tier 1B to schedule appointments. Both the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccine are being offered at UPH clinics, and both require patients to get 2 doses. Unity Point Health's vice president says clinics won't schedule more appointments than the number of vaccines available.
Our scheduling system is set up so that we know exactly the amount of vaccines that we have for the present week. And so that's the number of appointments that we are handing out at this time. So anybody who gets an appointment to come into Unity Point Health will definitely be getting a vaccine.
Unity Point Health recommends keeping up with information provided by local health departments to determine when the vaccine will be available for you. And new research suggesting Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine can protect against a mutation found in the 2 more contagious variants of the coronavirus that have erupted in Britain and South Africa. Moderna's CEO also says its vaccine should work on the variant as well. However, none have mutated to the point that it causes a more severe disease. Well, still to come, an array of programs and services available to people with disabilities in Tazewell County. What TCRC plans to offer this year.
You're watching Central Illinois Newsday with Rebecca Brumfield and meteorologist Molly Naslund with your local Weather Authority forecast. This is Central Illinois Newsday on WMBD.